I know that feeling of I am looking for something. I don't know what it is, but I, the way things are right now in my psyche and the things or lack of things that I'm creating in comparison to all the stuff going on in my head that I want to bring in the world, that's like that is my big journey is I am a creator, I'm an artist, and I have a really hard time putting my art out into the world, or it had. I need to put that in past tense now. Um, and like finding that conduit and realizing that I had power over that conduit, that I didn't need somebody else to say, oh, I like what you do. Now I'm going to put it out in the world for you. I was looking for that person for so long. And it was in the process of my healing that I realized, oh, wait, I'm the person. I'm that person. I have that power. And like what I have to say and what I have to create is being called for by somebody else.
Mhm.
And you are calling because you are calling for this, because there's something you're working for, or like something your soul is looking for. You came here. And now Emily's sitting here showing you what karma is like, showing you what it feels like to clear it, showing you people who have cleared it and what their lives are like right now and the peace that they have. And I think we underestimate that. And like, I want to get on a soapbox about that right now. The luxury mind is a peaceful mind. The luxury mind, it is luxurious to be at peace. We think we're looking for all this other stuff. And really, in the end, it is about being okay in your skin. The dream life is looking around at the life you have and the power that you have in it and saying, fuck yes. Like Emily has found all of these huge and amazing things in her life. But first she had to look around and say, fuck yes, and I have the power to make it. Like I'm privy from Emily telling me about like stories people are getting into right now about making this leap and making this purchase, saying, I want to basically saying, oh, well, I'm definitely going to do it. And I'm going to attract this into my life. You already attracted it, boo. It's here. And now you're looking around saying, okay, okay, source, now prove to me that I can have it.
Oh my God,
That's
yeah.
not how it works. I'm sorry. I wish it was.
Me
I
too.
wish it was because listen, I am a Taurus to the core. I have two signs in my chart, Taurus and Aries. That's why I'm able to talk like this, but really deep down, I am a deep woodland animal. And I want security. I love me some security. But you know what? What is between you right now and the searching that you're feeling right now and everything you want to create and everything you want to be is your sense of security being broken. That's what it is. And that's what it's going to take.
When we do a freebie, we get a glimpse in the doorway. What happens is there's a huge, for some, a gap between that and going the full experience. And what happens is all of the fears and all of the things and all of the things in our head and our mind is what I've been sensing with all of you, comes in and says, I can't have that. I have to manifest that to happen. I have to pray for that. I literally have a lot of DMs saying, I have to pray for that. This is beautiful, but it negates something really, really, really big, which is that you are your power source. You are your power source. You are your power source. We're clearing karmic patterns that you've been holding for lifetimes. The full journey, I say this with love, can't be free. Energetically, source would kick my booty. It can't be. There has to be that push pull. We have to say yes to ourselves and take that big leap to do this, which I'm sorry to say does involve the energy of financial exchange. It does. But the difference is this: when we get out of our own old excuses and get out of our way and say something, yes to something big, the world moves for you to have it.
With Clear Reborn. And I had the honor of helping guide people in the comment threads in the private community, because that was probably my 5th karma clearing program. And after working so much with Emily of figuring out how to explain this to the masses of like, and how to like granulate how this works, I kind of know how to explain it. And I definitely know what the process is personally in my body.
Oh.
And just getting to see the way people grew and changed, and the way their energy changed, and the gifts that were opening up for them, and the opportunities that were opening up for them, and seeing that in myself, and that not being the first time I've seen that. My first karma clearing program with Emily, 21 days. During that, we bought a house. During that same time, I also helped raise money for a friend to come out of housing instability that she had been in for off and on for 20 years. Now she has a stable home. We raised $600K, and our effort changed the face of housing policy in California. I mean, I get chills when I talk about it. $500 million has funded the method that we were taking advantage of. This law that they had passed but not funded. They funded it because of the work we did. And I did that in 21 days to money, abundance, and wealth. I played my part in that role. I played my role in that. This is not about you. Oh. This is about the place you have in the advancement of all of humanity and in our society. And whatever it is, whatever role that you play in that, bit about my decision to get into 21 days. It was one of the first times I heard an inner voice say, you need this. I was watching her do a karma clearing live with someone, and I heard, you have to do this, you'll figure it out. And I bought it on the payment plan, and I did figure it out. And I started a few projects, one of which was actually starting a newsletter with the poetry that I write. And by starting that newsletter, Emily had been following my poetry for a long time, and she saw that I was getting serious about my writing and about my gifts as a communicator. And she was like, hey, you want to write with MoonRising?
Yep.
And so I've been on the team. But programs, Dream Life Mastermind, I paid for out of pocket because it was that important to me. And I still remember when I finally made the decision to do it, and I was standing there with my credit card, entering it into the computer to pay the first payment. I got a knock at my door and I love that I already told the housing activist part, because I got a knock on my door of like just someone going door to door telling me about this politician. We were having elections, and I was like, you know what? I don't care until you tell me about your housing policy. Like, that's literally the only part of like politics that I know anything about. So tell me about your housing policy. If it's sustainable, if it makes sense, then you have my vote. And she walks up in that moment and starts talking to me about land trust, which is this self-determinate way of having affordable housing that also builds equity. And I was like, hey, I'm listening. and then she was like, well, you have this neighbor down the road who like helps them raise money. And the stuff I've been doing as an artist since then has been geared toward how can I help how can I help raise money for something that's sustainable in the housing realm? And there she was, just down the street. And standing right there in that very conversation, she sends us both a text to connect us. I have now worked with this land trust for a little bit. I've done a couple of projects with them. I've got a project in the works, and just the cosmic timing of it just blew me away.
Someone asked me last night, they were like, when do I see results from your programs? Which is a very reasonable question.
Yeah.
During, after, and ongoing, for good.
The minute you decide to really show up and decide that it's going to be enough, that's when.
I'm going to add on to that. When you decide, because some people also say that it's like when they literally, like you said, like when you pay for a program, when you decide that from here on now it's going to be different and you're committing to this karma clearing process and you're committing to the program, you literally, like, I kid you not, I will have messages that are like, oh my God, Emily, this is starting to move out of the way. Oh my God, things are changing. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Ah! And every time I'm like, it's happening. Because
it is so much fun. It's so much fun to see that in other people.
I get overjoyed when a few things. When people commit to themselves, when people really do the work, like all of you, I've been reading your challenge homework, and I know probably a lot of you are like, I just want free prizes. But that's not the point, friends. I mean, that's great. We like prizes are coming. And also, like, they're coming. But the point is actually doing the inner work and the changes that happen over time. When I see people commit to that, my heart gets so warm. When I see you journal, my heart gets so warm. When I see you show up, I am happy because it means you're beginning to commit. If you keep doing that, the people who have done programs, 1, 2, 3 programs, I don't know, 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, 9 months, all of them are like living in their aligned light and kicking ass and like fucking happy. I'm not saying that nothing ever happens. Okay. I'm not saying I can wave a magic wand and make your life perfect. That's not a thing. And we can't strive for perfection anyway. But I see them constantly shifting and moving and becoming who they actually are.
Spirit has already met you. Spirit was over here. You said on some level, I want healing. I want things to change. I don't want to feel like this anymore. Might have been what it sounded like. Spirit said, okay, here it is. But you got to like reach out and grab it. You have to meet it in the middle. And for some people, it's that payment. For some people, it's getting to a certain point in the program and you say something or you clear something and it's just like, oh, bam, I need to show up. This means me too. I want to say it's a process. It's a process. And that's why I think it's really cool that there are these two levels right now.
Yes.
And the membership is of course always available to you. I was in a membership a few months before I was even able to hear that voice that said, buy this with 21 days. And then I had 21 days. And so making that leap to make the investments in Clear, in the Modern Witch Festival, in Dream Life Mastermind, I am a junkie.
All right, a lot of people are.
And the reason you become a junkie is you start to realize, oh, I'm showing up differently as a mother. I'm showing up differently as a wife. I'm showing up differently for my friends. I'm able to hold space now for them. I'm not having to run to them all the time to be held, but when they need holding from me, they know that I'm a safe space because I'm not here to project my trauma on them anymore.
I think the reason people, once they start doing MoonRising, they stay doing MoonRising. More magic comes into their life when they have this kind of space for them. Because I was thinking back to my own like healing journey and where I started, it would have been so much easier And I would have felt so much more supported if I had had a group to clear my karma with. You guys are so lucky. And by lucky, I mean, I love the heck out of you and I decided to create that. I took the action to create that, even when all circumstances showed that I perhaps shouldn't by technicality. But when you
People
do,
were telling you it wasn't possible. And I think that's, sorry to interrupt you, but I think we also have to realize that like this idea um, that your healing has to happen in isolation, that you have to go over in a corner and get all your shit together and then come out being new and shiny and wonderful is an old idea that we have already poked a ton of holes in. Like that is an old idea of how we thought society should work, that we go hide away while things are wrong and we only show people the good things. And that is something that we are getting over, and that these programs are part of getting over. I always think in big societal terms. Emily's always like, oh, okay, maybe.
okay, a lot of people in like luxury sphere, everybody goes, okay, a lot of people. What if I don't present as perfect? What if people see that something's wrong? This is where there's such a massive gap and hole in like the therapy sector, in all of it. Nobody is perfect, and you don't need to be perfect. The most empowering thing you can do is be most authentically you, most empowered you. And that means the you that has cleared lifetimes of karmic, fuckery, and lineage karma from your mother, from your grandmother, from your father, from your father's father, and so on. And so that you're no longer holding the burdens of other people and your childhood, so that you can actually show up in all of you and not be living a life where things trigger us. And so what also happens, my little mini rant on this, is that people go, either I don't need help, or it's scary to ask for help, or I want to hide from that, and they turn to something else and they ignore it and they bury it, and then things come up and they bury it. You could skip all of that and really go to where it matters. Things like anxiety and depression don't have to exist. They don't. One of the biggest things I wish I could tell my like 20-year-old self would be this. All of the stuff that you're going through can improve and will. And someday you're going to live a life that you're fucking proud of, because you'll be proud of who you are in it. And all the things you're feeling are tied to things that have larger weight from, things you might not understand yet, things you might have no idea have to do with other lifetimes. And back then I was not even open to past lives. I didn't really believe in anything, to be fair. I really actually didn't. But that every single thing I was going through was because of some kind of lesson from another timeline, and that I could somehow actually make my life easy and empower myself to have a life where I felt good. Looking for band-aid solutions for a really long time. We've been looking for something to help us in the tiny moments that we realize, not tiny moments, but in the moments that things flare up, in the moments when our money gets weird, in the moments when things go wacky in our relationship, in the moments when we go, why do I feel like I can't be intimate? In the moments when we go, something isn't right, but then we go and away from it. This work empowers you to actually resolve these things from where they started, so that they get to be resolved for good. This process is freaking priceless. This process is worth every single penny, and you are worth doing it. Your soul has been wanting to do this for lifetimes. Lifetimes, my friends. I'm not kidding. Lifetimes of going through the same repeat cycles, going, when does it get to change? It gets to change now if you decide. So I will close by saying this. First of all, thank you, Gwen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone that's been listening and watching this. If you've missed any part of this, watch the whole thing. There's a lot of juicy, important pieces to this. But if you're at that precipice of, will I make the decision to do a program, or will I, quote, wait and try to find the right time, literally with 100% certainty of looking at every single person that has ever done MoonRising, ever, when you go all in, you will see that it pays off. When you commit to it, you will see that it pays off. The world will adjust to help you. Source will help you. You will be guided. But going, okay, I'm going to pray for the money to come. I'm going to just hope that it comes. I'm going to let it be by chance. If it works out and I happen to luck in and I have this extra cash, then yes, I'm going to clear my karma. No, because that is waiting for somebody else to give it to you, but you get to give it to you now. Mm-hmm. When you do that, your life will change. So my friends, this is my invitation to go deeper than a little 3-day freebie and go the full journey, because it's meant to be done that way. That is how I can give you these transformations in these programs. So this is my invitation to finally trust yourself and make the different decision, because if we keep going down the same path, we get the same result. If we go down a new path, we get a different result, and you deserve to have that now. And that's all I got to say. I love you, and I hope I'll see you in these programs.
I'm going to close with one thing.
Yep.
What if everything you want is already inside you? Because that is the truth.
Yeah, it is.
But you're waiting for the world. You're waiting for the world. You're waiting for something to come along with the key and unlock it. And you're the one standing there with the key. You've already attracted what you need. It's right here. It's right where your spirit is saying, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. What are you going to do?
Are we ready to begin, friends? I hope so, because it's time for the next round of people to have their next level of money, wealth, abundance. It's time for the next people to have their next round of dream life. I'm excited to run this, but you got to get in the seats, because it's for you, not for me. So today is the last day to save 111. Friday is the day that these close enrollment. Make a life-changing decision. I love you.